Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ultimate Fighting Casuals. What a great weekend of fights. Again, a really good card, an impressive performance with USMAN there, and again, another impressive performance with Burns, to be honest. I'm really impressed, mate. What about you?
100%. I think Burns showed that he put it all on the line and really went for the kill. But USMAN ultimately showed his depth and his strength all around the cage.
Yeah,
and
absolutely, mate. I feel for Burns though there, because like you just said there, he really went for it. I said that, and I've got my notes here that when I was making it as I was watching the fight, in the first round, Burns looked like a champion.
100%.
The way he took that to USMAN, I mean, in hindsight, you can actually, we've just talked about it, haven't we? We can see how the fight actually was going to go, but in hindsight, you can say that. But at the time, Burns really gave USMAN it in the first round. He dropped him. He dropped him. USMAN's never been dropped before, and he dropped him. I mean, that's impressive in itself. Burns clearly showed his class here. He showed for me why he was on an 8-fight win streak, and also why he deserved the title shot.
100%, and I think that Burns really thought that he won the fight in the first round. You can see that in the second round, he's sort of mouth open and he's gasping for air.
Mate, he's
huffing. So conditioned. He's at the title fight and he's put in every bit of work. Yeah. He wasn't gassed. He had an adrenaline dump. When he dropped
do you think
him,
that's what it is? That's actually, that's actually...
Joe Rogan did mention it on a commentary, so I'm not going to claim it all as my own
this is important though. Yeah, go for it.
But I really do think that he believed that he finished him. He got him when he dropped him with that right hook the start of the first round.
You're completely right, mate.
And he just let it get away from him.
He did. He let that get away. And when I was watching that, I thought that USMAN didn't look like a champion. I was like, oh shit, like, whoa, what's going on? This isn't really the USMAN that I thought. And shit, whoa, what's going on? Burns looks like the champion here. Burns is doing this, Burns and that. You now, in hindsight, look back, you'd get a couple more rounds down. What USMAN was actually doing is almost just being so patient. He knew that he could outpick him. I feel like what you said was important. He was waiting to see what Burns was really going to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like after the first round especially, he really knew.
Yeah.
And as Whitman kept calling out consistently, the world-class jab was phenomenal. Yeah. The fact that USMAN stayed behind that, he didn't need to go ahead. Why would you? Why would you go in front of it? And then to switch the stances, I was so impressed by that, mate. Just to switch the stances, and then that what became a bomb became a jab. Is just like what could Burns done at that point?
No, and I think he mixed up some kicks in there really well as well.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Do you think that's training with Gage G, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. The leg kicks that was definitely picked up, and I think that USMAN's striking looked really diverse. Burns put him under a lot of pressure at the start, which we touched on.
Yeah.
But USMAN really showed his depth and his class in this fight, and I think that that's really important. And just sort of to move it on, he called out Masvidal afterwards, which, if he is looking to improve his striking and really make sure that he is knocking guys out.
I completely agree.
Which it seems like he wants to. He says he wants to finish Masvidal and put...
I think he does though. I actually think USMAN looks at it the way. I think especially training with Gage G, and I'm a massive fan of Trevor Whitman, so I can't stop going on about him enough. Maybe that has impacted him a lot. Maybe it hasn't.
I think it has.
I think it has. Yeah, but I think he wants to go for that knockout now. You saw that with Burns. Maybe it was a little bit holding back. I'm not 100% sure they're teammates after all. They, you're not 100% sure what's going on in their head, their psyche. At an elite level, you never even know.
No.
But USMAN has such a impenetrable mind. He just seems so strong. He just seems like the first thing when you see fighter win a fight, they go up to the camera and say, put some respect on that name. That means they've been inside the gym for the last 3 months, really going at it. They want that respect, mate. When a fighter is asking for respect, it means that they feel disrespected, right? And I feel that USMAN's massively disrespected,
100%.
Especially by people that like Masvidal. So to round it back to that, because Masvidal is a fighter that doesn't show much respect, and he's respected for that, if that makes sense. It's sort of like McGregor in that way, respected for no respect. It's sort of that thing. And I think with someone like USMAN, whilst he does try, and he tries too hard sometimes, but I think, like in terms of personality-wise, I think that could come across really well, personally. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think that it's difficult because USMAN is this kind of the Nigerian nightmare, and he's got this kind of broody nature.
He does, doesn't he?
And I think that it doesn't come across in kind of the right way, and I think he thinks a little bit too much. You see it in this post-fight interview.
Yeah, you do, massively.
It's not as... He doesn't take on a character, and he doesn't put into it like somebody like Colby Covington does.
I feel like he's almost got everything that Colby would love to have that shit, because USMAN can he's got everything there for it, but he just can't do it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't work, does it?
I agree, and I think the only thing that he can keep doing is winning fights, and if he finishes Masvidal, his stock is just going to keep climbing. And I think that with Khabib gone, he's the only guy that can get GSP back. USMAN keep winning. I want to see it happen. I want to see GSP fight live, because it's not something I've had the pleasure
dude,
of. So.
If Usman GSP would be phenomenal, and I completely agree with you. I think that Usman is just as far ahead in his own division as Izzy is in his. I mean, Izzy has quite literally gone to fight someone in a different weight division.
Yeah.
I think that in the same sense as GSP is someone out there, something different, not in the weight division. So, you know, not one of the names that we've seen be chucked around. We've seen Usman beat pretty much everyone now.
Yeah.
Let's get GSP in there.
100%.
Let's get a Masvidal. Usman's going to fight at least 2 more times this year. He is, isn't he?
So.
He's going to fight at least 1 more, and then we've got to say 2, surely.
He's looking for respect and the kind of recognition from the casual fans, if you like.
Yes, you're right.
And I think the only way that he's going to do that without the kind of personality side and that getting eyes on is just keep winning fights.
Well, he's done that. Sorry,
which
mate,
he's
done
does
that to
keep
me.
doing,
He's done that to me. Sorry, you say the casual fan, being ironic, mate. No, he has done that to me. Go back to the last video. I don't like him, like in terms of his style. Don't like his personality. I don't think it suits like the UFC, the style, none of that. I've said it in many videos. I don't like Usman. I don't like him. That fight changed it for me. It did. I did say in the last video, all that aside, respect, right? And that's what I will give him.
Yeah.
But after that fight, it's changed it for me, man. And I think it will change it for a lot of people. I think he's got to keep going down that path, and then who knows? One day GSP.
We'll see. Big names, and I think Usman could be a really big star. So, looking at this week's main event, we've got Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis in the heavyweight division.
I'm really looking forward to this, mate.
100%. It's going to be a really good fight, and well, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I actually think that this is a difficult matchup for both these guys. I think this is the next top matchup in the division. I think that there isn't actually a better fight to make. Going back and looking at who they fought and just some records and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Lewis is undefeated in 3 fights now. Actually won all of them, and Blades is undefeated in 4 fights. Yeah, 4 fights. So look, they've both clearly got the records to be up there for the title or something. Do you know what I mean? I think this is almost like a unofficial title, because what I mean by that is I don't think these two are as good as like Stipe and stuff to fight for the title, but it's like the next thing down, and these two probably aren't going to fight for the title either, right?
No.
So at this point, I think this is a fantastic fight to make. I think I'm really excited to watch Blades, to be honest with you. And I just what do you think about Blades? I know you think he's going to take him down a lot.
Yeah.
I think that too, most likely. He just got off with the Volkov fight. But...
Yeah, absolutely. So in his last fight against Volkov, he took him down, controlled him really well, and wasn't in too much danger.
No, not until like the 5th round, I'd say. Like I've literally watched it back this morning. So like in the 5th round and maybe near the end of the 4th. But look, for at least 15 minutes straight, it was absolute control. Like slammed him to the floor, taking him down, mate. So,
I did watch the fight live, but it's a little bit,
a few months ago. Yeah, we've watched so much.
100%. But I think that looking at their common opponents that you touched on in terms of the wins and losses, and it makes sense. I think the key one is the Junior Dos Santos. Blades knocked him out in the second round.
That's big, mate.
Lewis got knocked out by him in the second round in a similar sort of, I think it was the same year or a year after, sort of 2018-19. Derek Lewis has made a lot of improvements because he got knocked out by JDS just after losing to Cormier. Yeah. So he's now on a 3-fight win streak from then, right?
Yeah, so that's clearly signs of improvement, signs of getting better. Yeah. I mean, I think that... Oh, see, that's just difficult for me, though, because I do just think that Blades is a better fighter. So I think, even if you go on a 3-fight win streak, it says a lot about you as a character and as a fighter, don't get me wrong, but when you just say stuff like Cormier, RDA, and then... three wins off of those back 2 losses. It sort of shows me similar to what I said about Gastelum. It's like when you come up against these top guys, you do end up coming on the losing side of it.
Yeah, and I think that you are right in that Blades is one of these top guys. He's second in the division. He's only lost 2 fights in his career, and he's incredibly well-rounded. So I think Derek Lewis is in for a really tough time. I think if he can stop the takedowns and keep it standing, I think he can do it in the 2nd or 3rd. But ultimately, I think the most likely thing is Blades with the decision. Yeah. And trying to get his way to the title.
I do want to just touch on that, actually. So before we run that off, I just thought of something. So you say that about Blades, and I agree with you, right? But you're saying Blades' decision. Is it a 3-round fight, or is it a 5-round?
5-round main event.
So that... Blades didn't look great cardio-wise. He was puffing, absolutely puffing. If you go to his after-fight interview, he is literally can barely talk, puffing so much. I think, like... If he's trying to wrestle Lewis for 5 rounds straight, that's going to be a lot of work. He's going to be puffed. I think actually here we could see, this is a random call, we could see a late Lewis KO, right, or an early Blades KO. That's the only way I see this fight going. I do not think we'll make the decision here. Okay. That's just what I'm going to throw that out there. If it gets to the 4th or 5th, I think we might see Lewis knock him out.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Fair play.
I'm going to go for it, mate. Fuck it. Throwing it out there, innit? What are you saying? What's your prediction?
As I say, I do think it'll be Derek Lewis 2 or 3, if not Curtis Blades' decision. That's kind of
that's almost the opposite.
That's
pretty interesting.
Much.
Okay, I like that.
So, well, we'll see next week, won't we?
Yeah, we absolutely.
So, looking ahead at this weekend's card, the next best fight is also in the heavyweight division. So, it's Tom Aspinall versus Andrei Arlovski. Aspinall is a UK heavyweight. We don't have any of them.
No, we're repping him, mate. We have
100%.
to rep him. As soon as you told me about, look, he's fought twice in UFC. I'm not even going to pretend I've watched his fights. I haven't. I've literally watched one of his knockouts. I like being that honest with stuff because it's the truth, right? Yeah. And look, he's an English guy, so I don't care. I'm going to get behind this guy. You told me that he trains with Darren Till and stuff. That's fucking awesome, mate. I love that.
So I think a big part of it's been touched on in MMA a lot. That kind of iron sharpens iron with City Kickboxing in Australia. So I think training with Darren Till and having that. Darren Till gives a lot of respect to his coach.
Yes.
And I think it's Team Baden or something along those lines. Yeah. And a massive part of Till's game is obviously his stand-up and knockouts, and Aspinall is exactly the same. Yeah. 2 first-round finishes in the UFC so far. He has got 2 losses on his record. One is to a heel hook submission in like the second round against a guy I've never heard of.
Yeah, and you don't see that much.
No, and USMAN lost a fight to a rear naked choke when he didn't know how to defend submission.
Exactly.
Losing a fight to a submission early on in your career doesn't really mean much. No. The other one is a DQ for a like a straight down elbow.
Okay.
So
all right. So
looking at it, his record does look a little bit worse than it is.
Yeah, I think that doesn't say that says nothing bad about him. To be honest with you, and anyone that's really looking at that is just overlooking it because look, 2 losses when you read into them, they aren't 2 real losses. And I think that speaks more for him as well. Especially after that last fight where you said to me that he came out and said, I did a little bit of this wrong, a little bit of that wrong. Linking it back to the Till stuff, that's another mindset that Till has. This is clearly a mindset thing. This is a, I want to get better, I want to improve sort of thing. So, you know, with a couple of losses that are just easy wipe away ones, a fresh start in the UFC with 2 knockouts, I'm fucking excited to see him fight this weekend, mate.
Absolutely, and he seems to have his head screwed on. I watched an interview with him, and he basically said, I see a lot of guys saying I want the toughest fight and I want all of this, and it's great trying to prove yourself, but you fight in the UFC. We're all hard, we all know that. I want the easiest fights for the most amount of money.
He's going to the top, mate.
I just love that. His whole approach and that whole outlook is just like, well, it is true. It is true. It's true. And this fight against Arlovski puts him in a really good position. I think he's going to get it done by knockout in the first that we've seen the last couple of fights. And I think that puts him on a collision course with someone big. Obviously, next week we've got Gan Rosenstrike. I think maybe the loser of that fight he gets.
That'd be massive, mate.
And that'll be huge for him.
I hope he wins. I hope he wins. I'm going for KO second round, you go KO first round.
Yeah. Arlovski has got acumen in these and a couple of fight winning streak. He did look good against Bosner in his last fight, but Bosner is an absolutely different animal to Aspinall. He's going to run through him, and I truly believe that. So
I'm excited, mate.
Keep an eye out on this weekend, and it's going to be a good one.
Right, that wraps up today's video. I'm really looking forward to this weekend's fight between Lewis and Blades. I think it's going to be an absolute banger. And then it's only a few weeks until we get the Izzy crazy March run. We're going to be pumping out shitloads of videos, mate. Lots coming. Stick around. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that cool shit. Anything for you before we go, Moz?
Check out the Instagram and big up the lamp.
Yes, absolutely. The new lighting, mate. It's all coming in. Don't worry. Get down below and check that shit out. Thanks for watching.